If you are a UI/UX designer, you must have felt like an imposter before. This video, I will share how I managed to overcome imposter syndrome as a UI/UX designer. So what is imposter syndrome? Based on my research, it is an internal psychological experience where you find yourself incompetent in something you do, even if you have achieved some success already. If you don't know me yet, I'm Fabian, and I'm a UI/UX designer. I used to have imposter syndrome thoughts in the past. Since I didn't learn UI/UX the usual way, like from boot camps or school, I often question myself whether am I qualified enough to deliver a proper design. How can I meet the expectations of others with my design? There were times when I almost gave up trying because I didn't have time and money to go for a boot camp and thought it was the only way to get started. Most of my UI/UX resources were only from YouTube, books and video courses. I remember there was once where I was working with stakeholders who are not in a product or agile environment. FYI, stakeholders are the people who are involved in the project. Whenever the work was done, they would tend to give feedbacks that are not easy to work with. So what do I mean by that? You see, UI/UX isn't just about being aesthetics, but it has to be functional too. The design has to meet the user stories or product requirement so that developers can build it. However, I still receive rejections based on how visual it looks and couldn't get clear feedback on what needs to be changed, which I'm quite surprised because there are still people who treat UI/UX designers like graphic designers. Situation like this makes me doubt myself. If you are feeling this way too, you are not alone. It makes me understand that creative roles are susceptible to it, partly because of the nature of the work we create. Studies have shown that any other accountant or dentist wouldn't be as susceptible as us. The work we create is subjective, and subjectivity leads to various judgments. That makes us feel vulnerable and inadequate. So how did I cope with imposter syndrome? Well, I realized learning how to filter and justify feedbacks with my reasons helped to ease my imposter feelings. I remember there are many times where I had received feedbacks that doesn't make sense. I had to filter them out and justify my designs. I explained to the stakeholder why it wouldn't add value to the design. I told them how it would have ruined the functionality of it if I were to implement the changes. It kind of got me thinking if I'm still doing the right thing. I believe UI/UX is still a pretty new concept to some people, especially those who are not in the product or agile environment. People like them make us doubt our work and question ourselves. So don't beat yourself up so soon. Be conscious of the feedbacks in your head, then filter and reframe them in a positive way. Sometimes people may not know how to communicate what they want from your design. That leads them to giving out feedbacks that they themselves might not even understand. So filter out the feedbacks that you feel is unnecessary and take criticism constructively. Let them affect you in a positive way instead of taking it to a personal level. It's not going to be easy to control your emotions when that happens, but at least you are aware of what you can do now. I would think of why did I pursue this in the first place and remember why I wanted to be a creative than being a lawyer or doctor or whatsoever. You see, I didn't have the best results in school. There's no way that I'm in any professional fields out there. Besides, I enjoy doing UI/UX design because of three things. I believe that there is a great demand in the long run for such skill in the market. Entry barrier is low, and I'm glad that I could understand most of the UI/UX terms. So far, the progress I have made is pretty good and visible. I don't think I could get as much progress if I were to learn other skills. And last, I could contribute and deliver value to you guys too with my UI/UX skills. By the way, I have just released some really cool UI mockup post templates. These are the templates that help me showcase my UI better. I use it for my portfolio, social media and etc. It has both light and dark mode for mobile, tablet and laptop. I have included tutorials on how to use it. I have put the link in the description box below, so do check it out. You see, creating value for you guys is my passion, which is enough for me to stay on. Take a step back and think of why you pursued UI/UX in the first place. Slowly from there, you will feel having more control of your life and be less like an imposter. Imposter syndrome stems from having an unhealthy mentality. I tried to recognize the unhealthy mentality that I have and change them. Since imposter syndrome isn't based on reality, it's just all in my head. All I have to do was to stop comparing myself with others, stop making excuses, stop trying to be so perfect, and stop seeking praises. But instead, I could just start working on my design to improve, start learning through videos, and start taking courses. Basically to start making progress forward. Doing all the insteads will give me more confidence than overthinking it in my head. Don't you agree? When I focus on taking small steps forward, I have less time to overthink. When I stop overthinking altogether, all of these imposter thoughts go away eventually. Since by doing things right away, we will fail more often, right? That brings me to my next point. I think we should fail more and fail fast. What it means is I would usually think less and do more. Then that allows me to start thinking about the mistakes that I have made and work from there. I'm a kinesthetic learner. Doing is very important for me to understand better. I analyze things better when I work on them. We humans naturally are so afraid of failures and losses because it's a natural instinct for humans to run away from presumed danger. But what's wrong with failures and losses? Shouldn't we embrace them? Sometimes consecutive failures can be part of winning. I believe there's a book by Ryan B. and John K. that talks about failing fast and failing often, which I agree. By executing our plans faster, we fail faster. These failures make us learn faster and propel us forward. By then, would you still be busy doubting your capabilities or fixing those failures you made? Think about it. Imposter syndrome is an inevitable feeling that we as creatives have to overcome. What matters is the things you do and your attitude towards life. They will be the ingredients to be confidently you. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe to my channel and comment below. Watch my next video if you still want more motivation to be a UI UX designer.